Meaning, it's simple. This rule, Section 17, Rule 132, allows exactly the prosecution to present a 2-minute portion of a 2-hour video subject to the defense, the presentation of the remainder of the same. Be that as it may, Your Honor, please, the rules are clear. Number 2, we invoke, Your Honor, please, the ruling that it is for the prosecution to decide what to present, when to present, how to present, and whether to present at all. Be that as it may, Your Honor, please, the defense will not be prejudiced exactly because when the time comes for the defense to present their evidence, they can present the remainder of the 2-hour video. What we are saying, Your Honor, please, for the interest of time, for the prosecution's presentation of evidence, within that's only a 2-minute portion of the 2-hour video is relevant at this point in time, Your Honor, please. We move for a ruling.
Prosecution may ilalabas na matinding testigo laban kay VP Sara. Sino kaya ito? Senator Risa Hontiveros at Attorney Narvasa nagkasagutan. Ano kaya pinagtalunan nila? At yan ang aalamin natin. Sa pagpapatuloy ng impeachment trial laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, isang bagong punto ang lumutang sa pagdinig matapos mabanggit ang umano'y hitman na sinasabi raw na nakausap ng Vice President noong nagbigay siya ng pahayag laban kay Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr., First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos at dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ayon sa ulat, plano raw ng prosekusyon na magpresenta ng panibagong testigo kaugnay sa usapin ng umano'y hitman. Ito ay matapos tanungin ni Senator Judge Bam Aquino ang NBI witness na si Agent Mark Calilong kung kasama ba sa kanilang investigasyon ang pag-alam kung totoo ang presensya o pagkakakilanlan ng sinasabing hitman. Ayon kay Calilong, hindi raw iyon ang bahagi ng kanyang trabaho sa kasong ito. Nilinaw niya na ang kanyang papel ay nakatuon lang sa video authentication. Ibig sabihin, ang ginawa niyang trabaho ay ang pagberipika at pag-authenticate ng mga video na ipinresenta sa impeachment court, hindi ang mismong pag-imbestiga sa umano'y hitman na binanggit sa video. Dito na tinanong ni Senator Judge Bam Aquino kung may ibang testigo bang ipapakita ang prosekusyon tungkol sa sinasabing hitman. Ayon kay Private Prosecutor Attorney Virgil Ligutan, oo, may testigo raw silang ilalabas kaugnay sa usaping iyon. Dahil dito, naging malinaw na ang unang testigo ng prosekusyon na si NBI Agent Calilong ay hindi muna para patunayan kung may tunay ngang hitman. Ang layunin ng kanyang testimonya ay patunayan lamang kung authentic ba ang mga video na ginamit bilang ebidensya. Samantala, naging mainit din ang cross-examination ng depensa kay Calilong. Ayon sa ulat, ilang beses umalma ang prosekusyon sa paraan ng pagtatanong ng defense lawyer. May pagkakataon daw na gusto ng depensa na yes or no lang ang sagot ng witness, pero ilang beses itong na-overrule ng presiding officer na si Senator Chis Escudero. Isa sa mga naging punto ng depensa ay ang affidavit of investigation ng NBI. Tinanong ng defense lawyer kung may iba pa bang affidavit na ginawa ang NBI Cybercrime Division kaugnay ng kasong ito. Sinagot ni Calilong na iyon lang ang affidavit na naisumite sa kanilang bahagi. Pero nang subukang idiin ng depensa ang tanong, tumutol ang prosekusyon. Ayon sa prosekusyon, hindi dapat nakikipagtalo ang abogado sa witness. Pinayuhan din ng presiding officer ang depensa na huwag makipag-argumento sa testigo at hayaan itong sumagot sa tanong. Lumabas din sa pagdinig na nagsimula raw ang investigasyon ng NBI dahil sa direktiba ng Department of Justice. Ayon kay Calilong, nagsimula ang kanilang investigasyon kahit wala pang complainant dahil maaari raw itong gawin motu proprio o sa sariling inisyatiba ng ahensya. Dito naman sinubukan ng depensa na ipakita ang posibleng koneksyon ng DOJ at NBI sa executive branch. Ayon sa tanong ng defense lawyer, ang Pangulo raw ang may kontrol sa mga executive departments. Kasama rito ang DOJ at sa ilalim naman ng DOJ ang NBI. Ipinunto rin ng depensa na si Pangulong Marcos Jr. ang isa sa sinasabing offended party sa kaso, habang ang DOJ at NBI naman ang mga ahensyang nagsagawa at nagproseso ng investigasyon. Para sa depensa, mahalagang mailatag ito dahil maaaring lumabas na ang mga ahensyang nag-imbestiga ay nasa ilalim ng opisyal na sinasabing biktima sa kaso. Pero agad itong tinutulan ng prosekusyon. Ayon kay Attorney Virgil Ligutan, masyadong compound ang tanong ng depensa. Dahil dito, hindi na rin tuluyang nasagot ng diretso ang puntong gustong ipasok ng defense panel. Habang nangyayari ito sa loob ng impeachment court, bumuwelta naman ang Malacanang sa pahayag ni VP Sara Duterte tungkol sa kanyang trial. Nauna nang sinabi ni VP Sara ang mga katagang tila hango sa tulang Invictus, kabilang ang ideya ng pagiging bloodied but unbowed. Ayon kay Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, ipinakita ng palasyo kung saan posibleng kinuha ni VP Sara ang ilang linya ng kanyang pahayag. Tinukoy niya ang English poet na si William Ernest Henley na siyang sumulat ng tulang Invictus. Ayon pa sa palasyo, hanggang ngayon daw ay hindi pa rin direktang sinasagot ng kampo ni VP Sara ang mga aligasyong ibinabato sa kanya. Sa halip, puro technicalities daw ang nakikita nilang argumento mula sa depensa. Nilinaw naman ng kampo ni VP Sara na taken out of context umano ang kanyang pahayag. Ayon sa kanilang depensa, may banta rin daw noon sa buhay ng Vice President kaya niya nasabi ang naturang pahayag. Sa ngayon, malinaw na dalawang bagay ang gustong patunayan ng prosekusyon. Una, na authentic ang mga video na ginamit bilang ebidensya sa impeachment trial. Ikalawa, na may susunod pa silang testigo kaugnay ng umano'y hitman na binanggit sa video. Pero sa panig ng depensa, patuloy nilang kinukwestiyon ang proseso, ang paraan ng investigasyon, at ang posibleng impluensya ng executive branch sa DOJ at NBI. Dahil dito, mas lalo pang umiinit ang impeachment trial. Hindi na lang ito simpleng usapin ng video authentication. Unti-unti na ring pumapasok ang mas mabibigat na tanong. May tunay bang hitman? Sino ang makapagpapatunay nito? At sapat ba ang ebidensya ng prosekusyon para idiin ang Vice President? Sa susunod na pagdinig, inaasahang mas magiging matindi ang laban ng magkabilang panig kapag inilabas na ng prosekusyon ang kanilang testigo tungkol sa umano'y hitman. Sa pagpapatuloy ng impeachment trial laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, kinuwestiyon ni Senator Judge Risa Hontiveros ang depensa kaugnay sa video ni Attorney Zuleika Lopez na ipinakita sa pagdinig. Ayon kay Hontiveros, nais niyang malinawan kung ano ang relevance ng video sa argumento ng depensa. Lumalabas kasi sa paliwanag ng Defense Counsel na ang umano'y mga banta o incitement ni Vice President Duterte ay na-prompt o naudyok daw ng pagkakadetain noon kay Attorney Lopez. Paliwanag naman ng depensa, may umano raw sistematikong pang-api na ginawa ang House of Representatives laban kay Vice President Duterte at sa kaniyang mga tauhan. Binanggit nila ang mga naunang investigasyon ng House Committee kung saan kabilang si Attorney Zuleika Lopez sa mga naipatawag at natanong. Ayon pa sa depensa, kahit sumasagot umano si Attorney Lopez sa mga tanong ng komite, na-cite pa rin siya in contempt at na-detain. Iginiit din ng Defense Counsel na hindi raw agad pinayagang makasama ni Lopez ang kanyang abogado noong mga panahong siya ay kinukuha para ma-detain. Dito na kinwestiyon ni Senator Judge Hontiveros ang posisyon ng depensa. Tinanong niya kung sinasabi ba ng defense na maaaring palampasin ang umano'y grave threats kung may maituturing na lehitimong dahilan. Sumagot ang Defense Counsel na hindi raw iyon ang punto ng kanilang argumento. Subalit bago pa tuluyang makapagpaliwanag ang depensa, pinigilan ng presiding officer ang direksyon ng tanong. Ayon sa presiding officer, kailangang maging maingat ang mga senator judges sa pagtatanong sa mga abogado ng magkabilang panig. Lalo na kung ang sagot ay maaaring magresulta sa legal o factual conclusion na hindi pa galing sa mismong testigo. Ipinaliwanag niya na ang mga ganitong punto ay mas angkop ilabas sa pamamagitan ng ebidensya, direct examination, cross-examination o sa closing remarks ng magkabilang panig. Tinanggap naman ni Senator Judge Hontiveros ang paalala ng presiding officer. Sa huli, sinabi niyang isinusumite niya ang sarili sa ruling ng presiding officer at pinasalamatan din ang Defense Counsel sa naging tugon nito. Sa puntong ito, malinaw na naging mainit ang palitan hindi dahil sa mismong video lamang ni Attorney Lopez, kundi dahil sa mas malaking tanong kung maaaring gamitin ng depensa ang umano'y pang-aapi o pressure mula sa House bilang konteksto sa mga naging pahayag ni Vice President Duterte.
Sir?
Sir President and Mr. Presiding Officer, before I ask to be allowed to ask a question, can I just follow up yung kay Senator Marcos, including the ruling yesterday? Just in the interest of all senator judges being able to follow closely, especially kami sa first row kasi medyo nagkaka-stiff neck na kami. Mahirap tignan yung TV, so baka dun sa
Maglalagay
harap.
na po kami ng TV sa harap ng
And
lamesa
I
ng
don't know,
Council for Parties.
I think all of us own a iPad or a tablet. I don't know what the solution is, but if the Secretariat or the Clerk of Court, the Office of the Clerk of Court can work with our staff. just to give you an example for today, no? If you look at the impeachment complaint on page 19, for example, it says that the affidavit we're looking for kanina, footnote number 72, is this one. In the impeachment complaint, no? It's found on Annex G. Okay. So this is Annex G. If you look at Annex G, it is a certification, not an affidavit. Okay. So where do you find the affidavit mentioned in the impeachment complaint? You actually find it in volume 14, Annex FFFFFFFF dash GGGGGGGG. So before I can
That's
even
not
say
dash,
that,
that's FFFFFFF to GGGGGG.
yes. So even before we finish saying that, Your Honor, Mr. Presiding Judge, medyo mahirap. To further complicate, the annexes when delivered to us was labeled annexes, and then when it was pre-marked, iba na yung marking.
That is correct.
Okay. So, to clarify, I'm not asking both the prosecution and defense to give us any documents in advance that will prejudice their presentation or the rebuttal. I do understand that it has to be offered, but to speed things up and to make sure we understand, in the same manner that they're asking the witness to examine it, maybe we can be given a copy to examine at the same time, whether digital or actual copy. I don't want to impose upon them to print 24 copies. But again, anyway, it's Wednesday. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for our staff and the clerk of court to meet.
I think we already have a solution for you, Senator Judge Cayetano, as well as for Senator Judge Marcos. We will be furnishing the parties either via soft copy to your respective iPads or laptops, or we will and to their official emails as well. Kayo na po mag-print ng hard copy ng list of evidences as marked, as pre-marked by the prosecution na ipe-present for Article 4. And we will do this by article. However, insofar as I said, the documents presented by the counsel for respondent, these have not yet been pre-marked. But I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for a copy from the counsel for respondent.
On that point,
for our guidance, whether or not the same will be offered without prejudice to respond to
On
counsel
that point-
correspondent deciding on whether or not they will offer it at the appropriate time.
on that point, Mr. Presiding Officer, even if it's pre-marked, if it will prejudice their presentation, I don't mind it be given in real time. And same, no? If it's being used on cross or recross on rebuttal and hindi to na pre-mark, as long as real time, para lang we can process it. If not, we have to review afterwards and it messes up our preparation for the hearing the next day, no?
Is that possible for the parties once the roles are reversed? May I get a response
Honor.
from the counsel for respondent?
Your Honor, first we'll clarify everything that was showed today was pre-marked by the respondent.
That's not my understanding because the DOJ letter you pre-marked is different from the DOJ letter that we have pre-marked. But we'll verify. So everything was pre-marked?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you presented a document that was not pre-marked either by the prosecution or the defense. Walang marking eh.
I presented all that.
So if it was pre-marked, it's our lookout. Then then there's no problem furnishing the senator judges with a copy of the same.
We have no problem with that, Your Honor.
Senator Judge Alan Cayetano's concern has no basis if it was all pre-marked. Apparently, it was our oversight.
Yes.
Counsel for the prosecutors, would that be possible?
Yes.
To furnish it? I think what counsel for respondent did earlier helped us out a lot. Plastering it on the screens, whatever affidavit you were presenting. I think counsel for the prosecutor should do the same.
Yes,
Hindi naman
Mr.
bawal
Presiding Officer.
magkopyahan dito eh. Okay lang. Senator Judge Cayetano?
Thank you. Yeah, and just to clarify, the 2 minutes is the question, not including
Yes,
the
yes, of
answer.
course.
No?
You have 2 minutes if you want to
if
start
they-
with asking questions.
Yes, if they ask to repeat the question, please don't count that. No, 2 minutes is long
We will-
with short questions, but many of us want to get to the bottom of it, end up only asking 1 or 2 questions. So just a little bit
We
liberality.
will be lenient,
Yes, thank you.
Senator Judge Alan
very much.
Cayetano. You may
Appreciate
proceed,
it.
sir. You have 2 minutes.
A question for the witness, and maybe to put all of us in check, I don't mind if any of the counsel says na medyo hindi maayos yung question. I mean, given what happened yesterday and today, and there are questions that could prejudice the case either way, as long as we call each other out respectfully, to the both counsels, you cannot correct a senator judge, but I don't mind if you think it prejudices. That's your duty to your client.
Yes, sir.
So this isn't the start of the 2 minutes yet. Sa magandang hapon, Mr. Witness.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Medyo mahaba na yung pag-upo mo dyan, but allow me a few questions. No? Yung circumstance lang, so paano nagsimula yung investigasyon na na-involve ka? Were you from the start o hindi? At written instructions ba to? O sinabi, oy, may investigasyon tayo. Just konting clarity, paano na-umpisa yung specific investigation? And was it based on the November 3 video? Tama ba?
November 23, Your Honor.
Okay.
It all started, I received a phone call, sir, from my executive officer that there is a video wherein there is a statement given by the Vice President, which is classified as threat. And I was tasked and assigned to investigate the case, sir.
Okay. So basically, ganun yung pagkasabi na I'm tasking you to look at the video, investigate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you working alone or with a group?
With a group, Your Honor.
NBI group.
Yes, Your Honor.
And was this is there an interagency also or just purely NBI?
Don't have personal knowledge. Maybe our chief, sir, has the
Okay.
knowledge on that, sir.
Yes. No, that's all I asked for naman, yung personal knowledge.
Yes, Your Honor.
So pakiulit mo yung sinabing, how exactly sinabi sa'yo na tignan mo yung video, imbestigahan mo, or may statement? So,
To be specific, sir, as far as I remember, may statement si Vice President regarding the November 23 press conference na kung saan may pagbabanta na naganap,
Okay.
pakiimbestigahan.
pakiimbestigahan. So ganun ka general. May
Yes po.
pagbabantang naganap, pakiimbestigahan.
Yes po.
And you proceeded by watching the video.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you watched the video, you got to the part na may pagbabanta.
No, Your Honor, I first don't know which part of that.
So you watched the whole video, of course.
First, the clippings, Your Honor.
Okay.
Then, I look for the whole video, Your Honor.
Then you watched the whole video.
Yes, Your Honor.
And thank you for your honesty. So after the clipping, tapos the whole video, what did you do next? You reported or you made your recommendations? I don't understand the process lang kasi.
Upon identifying the whole video, I informed my executive officer that I identified the video, Your Honor.
And then yung sinabi mo yesterday, then you started looking for patterns. That's why you looked at yung dating mga video ni Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you started investigating the threat against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you investigate the threat against the Vice President?
We tried, Your Honor.
How did you try?
It is included in our letter to the Vice President, Your Honor. That's why we're inviting her to proceed to our office to investigate the threats to her life, Your Honor.
How about the vlogger who asked her about Oplan or whatever they call that Romanov? Did you invite them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did they testify?
The Princess Maui did not appear, Your Honor.
Did not appear. Did you also look for previous videos that are threatening to the Vice President?
We look on the Romanov part, Your Honor.
Okay.
But we identify a different person who first mentioned the Romanov, Your Honor.
Did you coordinate with the PSG?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
You yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. Maybe our chief, Your Honor.
Yeah. But you are aware that the primary responsibility of protecting both the President and the Vice President is the PSG.
Yes, Your Honor.
So isn't it fair to say that any investigation against a threat to the first family, the President, or the Vice President, you would normally ask the PSG if they received any threat.
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
No, I'm asking, hindi ba normal sa investigation kung sino yung primary agency na taga-protekta na lumalaban dun sa threat ay tatanungin natin.
Yes, Your Honor.
So bakit hindi tinanong ng NBI ang PSG? Or in your case, why didn't you ask the PSG?
Maybe it can be answered by a chief, Your Honor.
No, I'm not. I will ask your chief also. I'm asking you, when they said, look at this, you looked at other videos, you tried to get Princess Maui, you tried to get the vice president, but you didn't contact the PSG for the first lady, for the president, and for all you know, the PSG will tell you right there and there, the threat is real, or the PSG will say, politika lang yan. Diba? Both the vice president and the president are protected by the PSG. So why wasn't so nakalimutan lang or wala sa procedure nyo or
Your Honor, there is already a statement from the National Security Council, Your Honor, that it is an active threat, Your Honor. That's why we start investigation.
yes, and the primary group that will know if it's an active threat is the PSG. So if this was the United States, it will be the Secret Service. So whether the FBI or the CIA, state troopers, the federal marshals, kung sino man mag-iimbestiga, parati nilang tatanungin yung Secret Service. So I'm just curious why we did not ask the PSG input.
Kindly wind up, Senator Cayetano. Senator
Okay.
Judge Cayetano.
So my last question is, how did you characterize the threat of the Vice President to the President?